Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all on frequency. This is ZA6YI hosting the DATV Worldwide Net today, and it's nice to have everybody on frequency. We also wish to thank the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to be on part of their satellite and all the work and effort they've done to assist amateur radio. We wish to thank AMSAT DL for their continued work and development, and of course AMSAT UK and the BATC. These are organizations who have brought this wonderful facility to amateur radio, and without their inputs and help, this would never have been possible. Today we have the following on frequency. If I can just get to that list very quickly. There we go. Let's just quickly see. We have G8 AOE, G8 King of England, Martin. And then we have Benno, Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray, followed by Leon, ZS1 Mike in Worcester, in just north of Cape Town. We have Ed, Papa Yankee 2 Radio November. And then to Brian, a Golf 6 Hotel Fox Sierra. And also to Nigel then, 2 Echo 0 Echo Hotel. He's trying a new mic today. Welcome back, Mike. Golf 0 Mike Juliet Whiskey Stroke A. So he's not at his normal QTH, no doubt. Also a very special word of thanks to Petro, Charlie Tango 2 Golf Victor Hotel. Yeah, interesting thing happened over I think it was Friday or Saturday, I'm not sure. I asked Leslie to help me with the link. I was having on YouTube a little bit of an audio delay. So I asked my grandson Leslie to do the normal test. By doing so, I don't want to use the words in case that's now against their rules. And while we were still busy, the link went dead and a little thing came up. It was in Portuguese, I think. So I translated it and said, oh, we've cut this off because you violated some or other absurd community issue rule. And I could not figure it out. So you can, of course, appeal it, so which I did. I said, look, we're just testing the audio. I gave a whole short explanation. And a couple of hours later, they said, appeal denied, and I've been kicked off YouTube on that particular channel for at least 7 days. So next week, this time, we'll be back on. I am actually also streaming, together with Petro. I'm streaming on my own YouTube channel just to look, and it looks okay. The quality's okay, but Petro's is fine. I'm watching Petro Direct, and that's Charlie Tango 2 Golf Victor Hotel. So Petro, thank you very, very much for your help there today. And anyway, now one wonders, what on earth did we transgress? Is it perhaps because I had Leslie on, being underage? Is it because we said something about a certain test? You know, when you do this with your hands, I'm not going to say the word in case that means something. God knows. But anyway, we shall we shall live and learn by putting too many restrictions on things, these wokes. Okay, with that, let's pass it to Martin. G8 KOE, sir. Will you take it from Zulu Sierra 6, Yankee, India?
Right, I think we've got it, have we? It says, is it still working? Right, yep, let's mute the sound. Meters are moving, which is good. I'm back on using OpenTuner at the moment. Was testing it earlier, and a station decided to it didn't like, but it's quite funny really. So I had to go over to the Winter Hill briefly, but I'm back to OpenTuner just to see whether any other hiccups appear. Been chasing a few minor problems, not just with OpenTuner, to be fair, with a number of programs. Sort of leave them running and suddenly they've stopped working, or they've locked up. but other times they seem to go all day. So I can only put it down to different programs or different stations running different sort of formats that it doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, we're running at the moment. Just to, I used to have a little peak program meter program where the one that is at the moment, and I forget which station I was working, but he queried about it, and I opened it up to sort of show the details of it, and then it stopped working from then on. Usually I'd got the setting just because I use VB audio cable, and it was usually just pointed to that, and it just didn't work anymore, and I uninstalled it, reinstalled it. Couldn't understand why it didn't work. I then I think I uninstalled VB audio cable and reinstalled. Sorry, I know what I did. I hit the wrong key. Oh dear, oh dear. It worried me, that did. I hit the enter key on the keyboard, which, because I'd got D80 Easy selected, it's something I found, this is digressing a little bit, with the number keypad, if you've got that selected, the enter key is still works, and as I'd got D80 Easy selected, the last thing I'd done was PTT, so it then hits the PTT and cancels it. So just something to bear in mind. Anyway, so chasing this fault with no audio, the streamer worked, so I could stream to BATC, that worked fine, the audio was okay there. It's I was just looking at Mac that popped up. He's put me off now. I shouldn't try and do two things at one. Yeah, D80 Easy worked, so it decided that there was audio stream or whatever, or whichever way it detects that it's the VB audio cable was there. But basically it didn't work. Anyway, I went around in ever decreasing circles, having uninstalled this and installed that and such like. Then went back into OBS and looked where VB audio cable is selected, and unselected it, and it then wasn't available, except for another entry of VB audio cable. So I think it had remembered the first thing, it'd been I deleted VB audio cable and then reinstalled it. It had sort of stuck it like you do with, I presume, with if you download the same file a number of times, it had put something on the end of it. So reselected that and all worked fine. I think about a day later it stopped working again, went straight into OBS, and VB audio cable I think had reverted back to its original name or whatever, so I unselected it and reselected it as it was, and it's been fine ever since. If you've managed to follow that without getting confused, you've done better than what I am, because I was totally confused. And as Matt's there, if he's around later, I've got a suggestion for a product that he can review, which he has all the test equipment he needs locally to do, which I found, which I thought was RF related as well. So it should work well for him. Anyway, I think that's enough waffle from me. And if Ben, if you managed to follow what waffle I was talking about, you probably have a technical answer. But the ppm meter no longer will work. When you look at it, you've got VB audio cable selected in it, and I think it's probably still remembering it in the registry or something. So I've stopped using that program. Whereas the meter program, I can just point it at VB audio cable. I can point it where I like, and it works every time. So that's why I'm using the double meters as opposed to the ppm meters. Right, that's a big long waffle. So everyone's gone to sleep. Get ready to wake up. Benno can talk some sense, show some real ATV goings on, DATV that is, and I'll stick a test card and throw it over to you, Benno. God, what a waffle! It should be put down really. Oh, and I didn't comment on the T-shirt. It's an American T-shirt, which is why the spelling is as it is, which someone pointed out to me. Chris did. So it was free. Right, test card and I'm gone.
Well, I'm here. Not too strong though today. I just found 10 minutes ago out that one of my preamps was down. Or something else is wrong, I'm not really sure, but my power is not going out of the amplifier. And I think I quickly exchanged an preamp, and I put it just the original model, on my test rig, on my spec, and it looks perfect, but it draws over 1.5 amps on two of those small what is it, what are they called, it should be milliamps, but it's 1.5 amp it pulls, so something is wrong, but it does something at least. Okay, well, if we're talking about t-shirts, today I got this t-shirt from the missus. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah, I can show you. Not with the nice rounds, and I suspect everyone can understand what that does mean. And I got that one from the missus. She thinks it's hilarious. So that's what I done, and I had a very anxious wait on the mailbox, waiting for parts. Actually, I ordered the boards last Thursday, and last Friday, the Thursday before, Wednesday or Thursday morning, I believe. And if actually they are in, so I have a few of those, which is the Mini Tuner second TS output, and I ordered a bunch of parts in China to be cheap. And then I got so many reactions, so I said, well, maybe I'm going to order locally here in Holland, only, what is it, 30-40 kilometers from here, from a shop, also some parts. And I did that last weekend. I must agree that it was just before the weekend, so it lost the weekend for doing something, because Holland is closed during the weekend, at least these kind of shops. And then it got on the mail Tuesday, only 30 kilometers, so I reckon it should be here maybe next week. I have no clue. I got a warning that I was getting the postage, the package somewhere in last week on Thursday. I get the first warning, I get a package. Okay, that's okay. Then on Friday I got another package. Sorry, we didn't message. We were not able to get it on Thursday, but you will get it Friday. And on Friday I got another message. Sorry, we didn't manage to do it due to workload. We do it on Saturday. And Saturday evening at around 9 o'clock I got another message. We have the package. We have no clue when we are going to ship it to you. Deliver it to you. It's only 30 kilometers. If I have known before, I would have driven it. But I still wait for parts to fit on that board, to test the board and to say anything about it. So that's all I did. Besides, it's very hot. I had a fox hunt this morning, running in the woods. Still was nice, was doable, but it's very hot at the moment. I think close to 30 degrees. It's very unlike Holland because also the humidity raises up close to the 100%. And we actually need to raise it a little bit more to drink enough, which is in the glasses, obviously. So, having said that, I will wait for the parts, probably outside on my terrace, on my porch, and wait with a glass of something inside of it. That's all for now. Have a nice week, because I won't attend for the second round, being this small signal. Passing it on to Leon. Leon, getting ready for you from Papa Alpha 3 Foxtrot Bravo X-Ray. Have a test card. Yes, I have. And below.
Okay, thanks Benno. Papa Alpha 3 FBX ZS1 Mike returning, and yeah, very good morning and good afternoon to and good evening to Ed from ZS1 Mike in South Africa. Yeah, Benno, it sounds very much like South Africa. My PC boards, I sent the files through. It's only in Cape Town. I didn't use the Chinese people yet because I was very wary, you know, whether my files were correct or not, because it's the first time I'm ever doing it that way. I sent it on the Monday. On the Tuesday morning, I paid them because they sent me the bill, and I paid it on Tuesday. This coming Tuesday now, it will be 2 weeks. And they guaranteed it takes 3 working days. So I phoned them on Friday. I said, but what's happening, you know? No, we're still busy with your order. But I said, you say 3 days. Yes, but that's 3 working days. But I said, gee whiz, according to my arithmetic, it's 3 working days. It's long gone. So I still haven't got my PC boards. Anyway, otherwise, yeah, okay. Martin, your signal is perfect. It still does that thing on the symbol rate. I see on mine it's like Gary's. It's 100% and it just sits there. And my carrier lock also hard over on 100%. Gary's is about 95 or so, the carrier lock, but the symbol rate lock 100%. Mine is just, both of them are just harder over. RF power is -30 and C over N is about 10. But anyway, I noticed something interesting much earlier today. There was the French guy, F4HSL, doing some test transmissions, and his banner said he's testing variable FEC. Now, that's very interesting, because normally if you look at a picture the way we do it, and in the background there's always little artifacts or so in the high resolution stuff in the background, and it'll get better and really sharp, and then it's bad, and then it comes. That's as the frame continues. Every so many frames, the thing repeats and it updates or whatever. I did not see that on his transmission. It was just beautiful all the way. He was transmitting that bunny movie, and in the corner was a live picture of himself, which was very sharp. And he was doing it at 250 kilo symbols. It looked better than 333. So we'll have to investigate what is this gentleman doing. F4HSL. Very interesting. Okay. Yes, Martin, on your meters, I prefer the dial or whatever you call it, the plate of the VU meters to the ppm. I'm sure the dynamics is the same. Your dynamics there looks the same as my one, and it looked the same as the when you had the ppm scale. But the VU scale tells me much more, and that's, as I say, that's what we used in broadcasting here in South Africa all the years. And I know when we sent 1 kc tone through the whole lot, it had to stand vertical on -6 dBm. So yeah. Okay, right. I give it to Ed. Let's see what the cartoon is today. Papa Yellow 2, Romeo November for the group. From ZS1, Mike.
Thank you, Leon. I don't know. I'm not. Let me see. I think I have some problems here. I'm not decoding myself. I'm still waiting for the YouTube streaming to see if but I don't know what is happening. Let's see. Yeah, it's a long delay on the YouTube channel. I don't know if I'm on the air or not. I'm still watching I'm still watching Leon there on the YouTube streaming. I'm really not sure if I'm on the air or not. I cannot decode myself. I don't know what's happening. Um, just bear with me, guys. Hold on a second. It's let's see. Yeah. Now I can see. I'm transmitting. Okay, so it's a beautiful day here. Autumn day, temperature around 24 degrees, 51% of humidity, and hello to everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and it's great images from Gary as always. Martin, Beno, good signal. I don't see any weak signal from you. It's strong signal. Uh, Good to see the boards there. Now the anxiety for the components is it's very usual for us. Hope you can get them soon. Um, and Leon, also great image. I Gary, regarding the YouTube, I believe I know what is happening. When you set up a channel, well, first thing, you got the messages in Portuguese because I set up the channel from here, from Brazil, so they recognize the country, so they made the local language. So that's maybe that's the reason you saw that in Portuguese. The message is all in Portuguese. But the reason they block it is because since you put Leslie on the air, when you set up a channel, you must specify it's going to be you know, several things. It's going to be a private channel. It's going to be a public channel, or if it's going to be it's going to have child content. And obviously we set up no for child content. And what I think their algorithm recognized the Leslie face and said, well, there is a child there, so let's block them. I think that what happened. And I don't know. Yeah, even if you explain them, it was just a test, etc. It's not. They don't accept it. Um, but anyways, yeah, it's kind of rough, but that happens, no problem. Yeah, thanks to Pedro CT2 GVH for streaming, you know, exceptionally today. It's been great, Pedro. Thank you. I also will send my hello to our friend Gary from Santa Helena Island, Zulu Delta 7 Golf Whiskey Mike, which is watching us. And hopefully someday he's gonna come up on the ATV here also as well. So it's gonna be nice to see Santa Helena ZD7 here on the DATV transponder. So 73 Gary, he's watching us. Yeah, nothing else from here. No much news. Just trying to help also a local friend, Papa Yankee 2 Radio Charlie, to set up his DATV transmission. He has already reception, which needs some improvement, but we are trying to put him on the air as well. So who knows, we can get one more Brazilian station on the DATV transponder. So far it's been only, I mean, active. It's only been mean. There are others, but those guys are not very active. Just me, at least on Sundays. Okay, very nice. So next to me is gonna be Brian, Golf 6 Hotel Fox Sierra. So get prepared, Brian, because I'm gonna send to you. Golf 6 Hotel Fox Sierra from Papa Yankee to Romeo November.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Ed. Just see if we got audio. Yeah, mute that out. Right, what have I been up to? A couple of things. I'll just load this. I think some of you have probably seen it, but I've got my brother who's a engineer with all his fancy lathes and equipment. There we go, that's the LNB parted. He held it in the lathe with a bush. And there I decided to use 22mm joiner with a couple of M3 nuts with grub screws, so you could slacken it off to move it backwards and forwards a wee bit, or twist it. As you can see there, that was a trial popped on the end of the dish. And I also got one of these that I've got to start to play with. That's the next bit. I want the lens off the end, so that's my next job. Not had chance this week to actually fit the LNB on the end of the potty and have a tune up. I did try it, but it was slightly off. I was just about getting the beacon, but I didn't have time to do a retune, so I have to do with that. The only other toy ride for the shack this week was a little eagle eye cam. Thought it's about time I got something to show people close-ups. That's about it really, apart from I've also been playing with a keypad that I know Martin I think is using the one in OBS itself, but that hasn't got as many functions. This is my pad, but I'm using a third-party bit of code. It's going to focus a bit better. Yeah, there we go. I'm using a bit more. It's got more functionality than OBS macros. All you can do with macros is switch things backwards and forwards, but with this third-party bit of software, you can create your macros how you like. It generates them in either BAT file or VBS files, and you can execute all sorts of manner of things that you can't do with the OBS inbuilt bits and pieces. So I've not done that myself. I've stuck with the other version that I think Dave M5TXJ has done a write-up. It'll be in CQT Mag, the next issue, which is out soon, I think, a couple of weeks. That's it from me. I'll only do one today, as it's now reading 33 here. I think I need to go cool off. So I'll hand it round. Who am I going to hand it round to? Oh yeah, young Nigel 2E0EHH. Round to you, G6HFS.
Thanks, Brian. Just wait till I can see my picture. I don't know, my window's on the slide. There you go. I don't know, my window's on the slide. There you go. Oh, hang on, let's be. Transition over. Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good day to everybody. Yes, I'm copying everybody up yet, bar Ed. No, Benno, BA3 Fox BX. I don't know why, but didn't get you at all, mate. And I'm normally get you okay, but whether it's from my end or your end, I don't know. But I can't comment because I don't know what you said. Aye, aye. Yes, as I said on the spread on the Excel file, I've got a new mic. This is a new mic. It's what do I written it down? No, it's a Fifine, Fifine, games mic.
but I don't know, so I've gone USBs direct instead of USB with a wireless Rhodes set of mics. So I'm hoping my modulation is okay. I've got a transition. I'll show you a close up of the mic. I can adjust it, but here we go. It's a side view. And it's a coloured one. Yeah, so it sounds seems to be all right. I'm not sure if it's up to Matt's standard, but I like if you're on today, Matt. If you want to comment, feel free. Or anybody. That's what I've been up to. It comes Saturday, so I thought, well, I ain't got to worry about the power running out because of wireless. Because I'm using my battery powered wireless mic. You know, the battery goes, and you don't know it's gone until your case after the after the. Well, that's enough of that. Let me cut back. That's it. Just took a while. So yeah, Brian, that milling what your brother or your family did, that milling, that's quite good, mate. Quite good, quite professional. And what you and Brian and Martin's done, and a few of us are copying. You've done the button keypad. That looks pretty good. I've not got to that stage yet, although I have got an A10 mini switcherboard. I used to use it, but when it got fiddly and I got too much on the bench. So I stopped it for a while. So once you get tidied up, I might put it back and see if I can cope with it. Trouble is, I have that much ongoing at once. I forget what stage. What stage I'm at. Yeah, so Ed, love the t-shirt, mate. Love the t-shirt. Looks like a 3D one, but loved it. I don't know if it was a dog or I don't know what animal it is, but it looked like a wolf, or I don't know. But you could comment, or if you're coming back. Anyway, that's enough for me. Standby mic M0JW. I'm going to put a test card up. You can take over. Let me just put a test card quickly. Yes. When I see the test card, I'll cut transmission.
Right. Thank you, Nigel. Up in Bolton at the moment, so there may be audio, there may be lip sync, there may not, who knows. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. I'm not sure who I had to pass it on to actually, because I didn't look at the list. I was on the end of it, but if there is anyone else after it, and it's not Gary, apologies. I've been away, so I wasn't on last week. In fact, I was in Toulouse. I'd been to Vienna, and then I went from Vienna to Toulouse. So I've been travelling a bit in Europe for the past few days, and now I'm up in Bolton, so not home. I did go home, but then I came up here. Hence the weak signal. Sorry about that. and the low code rate and the not very good picture quality compared to normal, and also not being able to show different cameras. The bench camera, for example, is not here, so I can't show you what's on the bench. But the only thing that was on the bench was the PCBs that turned up, that came from China, and I think I showed those on Thursday because I was back for the Thursday night net, for the 6-way relay controllers, either with ICOM Bluetooth or ICOM CIV or band level switching. So I've built most of one of them just to test it, but I'm missing one of the chips, which is on order, but will take a while to turn up. So maybe next week, you never know. Except for next week is the RAL round table. So this is the microwave round table that used to be held at Rutherford Appleton Labs. Now it's being run by the Harwell Amateur Radio Society in the place where they meet for club meetings in Chiltern. So it is not in RAL, it's in Chiltern. So it's really the not RAL microwave round table. But usually a very good event, and I think there are loads and loads of people coming. So we will see what happens. Incidentally, today is a DATV contest in Europe. I've not managed to work anybody. I'm too far out of the centre of activity up here in the northwest. Had a few tries with people down further south, and couldn't work them. And then Rob M0DTS is usually a good signal, but unfortunately he's on the other side of a big lump of granite, so there's no chance of working him either. Even if I could point the antenna in his direction, it just wouldn't go through the pennines. Benno, the boards look nice, so you're waiting for components. Brian, the LNB joint looks interesting. I did something similar. I bored out a piece of aluminium to make a connection, but latterly I just used the bullseye with the adapter that Colin designed. Works very well, that, and easy to fit and fix, and it minimises the number of transitions as well, so it actually should be slightly better RF wise, but there you go. And Nigel, the microphone, yeah, I was trying to work out why it had coloured LEDs in it and whether they could be made to do anything useful, like tell you that it was on, which is always a useful thing. You probably see that I haven't got the little things down. Where would they be? They'd be down there, wouldn't they? The little graph that tells you the audio is coming out. So I'm never quite sure if I've got any audio. But if you could persuade the microphone to dance around with its colours, or at least turn the colours on when it's switched on, that would be very useful. The audio, by the way, was great. No problem at all with that, but I did get a lot of video dropouts towards the end, which may well be because I've got a very weak signal here and the signal just wasn't strong enough. So that's why I'm running such a low rate at the moment, half rate. Okay, with that, round, I guess, to Gary, unless there's someone else on the list. So let's put up the test card and do the same as you. G0MJW.
Okay, I thought I'd give a little break. Okay, very, very good indeed. Nice overs all over. I must compliment you on a beautiful signal for that low FEC rate. Really fantastic quality, I must say. So Mike, you're doing a great job over there, really. No problem in reading, and it was perfect signal. Beautiful. Color was right. In fact, I prefer this signal, believe it or not, to what you have at home. Just more brilliant colors. I suppose it's a different camera, but I had no problem copying you. Just want to see what my signal strength's like, because yeah, it's a bit high. I've done that on purpose for Ed. Ed, yeah, I do understand what you're saying. I thought exactly the same. That's perhaps the reason. And then, of course, Leslie was quite disappointed. He was all keen to help Grandpa on YouTube. But, yeah, what can we do? These things happen. But I also translated. I realized it was in Portuguese. I remember when you set it up, but it's not an issue. Next week, hopefully, it'll be back up, and then we can do it. I also looked at the Twitch streaming from Petro. Very, very nice. In fact, the Twitch streaming in my mind had a better quality. I'm also streaming on my own account. I only clicked last night that I could do it on my own account, and I'm doing it right now. I sent you the link, Ed, and it works very well. But I'm having a problem with lip sync. So I need to try and figure out what I'm going to do there. I'm just going to do a test anyway, so that I can have a look later on what's happening. Okay, Martin, great signal from you as usual. Benno, I see you fixed your preamp. That's good news. And all on those boards. Fantastic. At last they've arrived. I know Leon's had an issue. Local guy's taken like 2 weeks. It should have been 3 days, as he mentioned. But that's for a totally different thing now. But I'm sure his boards will arrive in no time. And then Ed, yeah, usually a good signal from you, no problem to copy. And so that's why I quickly sent you the link on my own one. Maybe you can receive that a bit better, I don't know. But you're coming through quite well. Brian, yeah, excellent on that bit of handiwork your brother did on the lathe and so forth. Looks very good, and I just hope it's going to work half as well as what it looks. So we shall see in time. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. You say your brother's an engineer. Now, in South Africa, we class an engineer as a guy that's been to university and did an engineering degree, whether it's mechanical or industrial or electronic, whatever. But I noticed that in the UK, they term an engineer as a guy that can work on a lathe and so on. It's interesting how the two languages, even though it's a common language, how we have different concepts. But he's done a great job. Machining that up for you. You're very fortunate. I'm lucky. I have a whole engineering team with real engineers or BScs, but also I've got guys working on CNC milling machines and lathes. And so if I want to do something, 9 out of 10 times, I can do it myself, but I give it to one of my appies and say, right, this is what I want, and it comes out quite well. Anyway, but great job on your brother there, and it's helpful. Nigel, okay, on your psychedelic microphone, all good. Audio is nice and punchy. To be very fair, I preferred last week's audio when you clipped that microphone on correctly. Much better audio quality, but the guru on audio is Leon. He's got a very, very accurate audio synthesizer and audio graphic equalizer and test thing, and it's situated between his ears. He's got a hell of a ear for high fidelity audio, so he'll give you the best report of us all. And Mike, I have commented, all great on your side, lovely signal as usual. Right, with this, I'm going to bow out, guys, but I'll leave the net running, and Mike, if you can close it right at the end, I'd appreciate it. I've just got to shoot out of the shack quickly. And I want to thank Petro once again, Charlie Tango 2 Golf Victor Hotel. Much appreciated, Petro, and it came across very, very good my side. So with that, back to you, Martin. G8 King of England to take from ZA6YI.
Right, I think we're back. Meters hopefully should move and display something. Perhaps they're not. Yep, they are. What have I got to comment on? Benno, yeah, I got you almost all the time, except when you suddenly dropped down towards the end, really weak, and OpenTuner didn't like it. And in fact, it sort of caused OpenTuner to crash. Didn't like the signal. So at the moment, I'm using MiniTune, the original program, and I think it's James R or whatever, and the Winter Hill. I've got both running at the moment. Yeah, I can see my SR locks moving. That's interesting because I've not used the mini tuner program for a while. Yeah, I'll leave it for technical people to say why that's happening on my signal. But it certainly does. And everybody else is just stable. Always said I was unstable anyway. And the keypad. Well, I've got all those number of keys that have actually got little stickers on. So I find that it's enough. So I've got test card 1, or test card which I can go to. Back to here, which is the Dell camera. Then there's the C922 camera. There's the garden camera. There's the cat camera. I can play a video. Right, back to the cat cam. And go to the screen. I can go to right screen, left screen, or main screen on, main screen off, and the mic on and off. And there's a transition button. So I find that is sufficient, and the reason, let's go back to the camera, I went for doing it that way is that the other, using the other program, you had to load a different, sort of a legacy server program in, not use the one that's built into OBS. And as I'm forever updating things and such like, I thought I would stick with this, which is is going to be compatible with anything else that comes out. And you can still do some fancy transitions in one, providing whatever you create has got a button on OBS. Then you can, or it's listed in somewhere, you can actually control it. And I've stuck with cheap sticky labels because I'm bound to change my mind. So I can print those out with the label printer and just chunk them on and off. But I'm intrigued by my SR lock, as you say. I wish I hadn't mentioned that, Leon. Yeah, Benno's signal was good news at the end. Ed's signal was D5, really strong. Cracking pictures, actually, really superb pictures. I've mentioned the and Nigel. I wouldn't touch your audio. Don't listen to anybody else. It's best I've heard you for ages. It's nice and clear, and fine on the psychedelic microphone. I thought you were using the Samsung microphone. You must have a collection of bits and pieces. That looked like quite a nice microphone, but that one close up to you is working well. So I would stick with it personally. Don't listen to anybody else. Just listen to the King of England. And Mike, yeah, I've got to say, whether it's the lighting, there's a lot of daylight coming in there, but your sound was rubbish, but your pictures were absolutely cracking. If you improve on the mic was lacked a bit of clarity and punch to it, and a little bit on the low side, but the picture quality, I reckon it was better than your normal picture. But there you go. Right, I don't know whether Benno's coming back, but your PA was good to start with, then it slowly dropped down. So I'll put a test card up from my keypad, drop carrier. Nice to see everybody, and look out for you next week from G8KE.
think I doubled with you. So sorry, Leon. Let me switch off the audio here. I wanted to switch on. Like Gary said, I replaced my my preamp, which was quick to do. Actually soldered a new part in, which I have on stock because it happens to me already 3 or 4 times. And I managed to put it back off. I tested it, but I just realized that I tested it on a lower frequency. So obviously I was on the wrong frequency, and I quickly moved to this frequency, but sorry, Leon. Well, I'm back. I can go up if people need it. I can go a little bit more up, no problems, and the signal should be clean now. It's nice and square for what to expect. One issue I might have, let's see, do I have that issue? No, I am on 20, roll off on 20. I just saw that my roll-off was set up at 15, but I'm not using the 303 software. Okay, well, that's all. For those who missed it, PCBs are in, but no parts. They are in somewhere in the mail, and the big distance from China to here was only 8 or 9 days. And the big distance from Assen, which is 35 kilometers from here, is already taking 7 days. So, well, I think we'll have to wait. Well, I have to wait anyway. But I'm going to test fit those parts, and if it all works as expected, with maybe some minor updates, because I'm also not a PCB specialist, Leon. But I found my first tries, I got a nice reaction back from China that I had a nice board, but it was missing the holes. And I was using VIA pins, so I'm missing all the VIA holes and missing all the drill holes. I didn't make the drill chart, and simple mistakes can be made, and they are checking the boards by specialist engineers who are looking, doing nothing else than the whole day looking to the boards. And actually I already saw one thing I missed is the pin 0 of the chips. The pin 0, I don't have a round dot there. Well, I can live with that. I will make some black dots. Hi. That's all for now. Have a nice weekend for the rest of it, and see you later in this week. Have a nice week, and hopefully meet again on next week. From Papa Alpha 3 Foxtrot Bravo X-Ray, off and clear. Bye bye.
Okay, let's see. Oh, are we on? Sorry guys, we went into load shedding. I presume Benno has just finished because I don't see his carrier, and I had to start up the inverter and fire up everything from start, both computers, the transmit computer and the receive computer, and now I'm without my lighting. So why can't I receive myself? Oh, the thing thinks it's 250 again and not 333. Maybe I'll get myself now. Let me just have a look. Yes. Okay, right. I am on the air running on batteries. Okay, let's take it from, okay, Ed, I could read you all the way, and Benno also all the way, no problem with your previous over. Even though the carrier was not so high, it was perfect copy all the way, no problem. All the stations, I didn't have any dropout from anybody. Okay, Brian, yeah, nice job on that. I see you've added the grub screws now, so you can lock the thing in position and so on. That's nice. This camera has now decided it's very dark now, and it's switched on a very bright LED shining into my face. Nigel, very nice. You're really becoming professional now. The mic you have now is working fine, and I agree with Gary. When your previous mic was not pressing against your chest, when it was pointing the other way, had better fidelity, it was more brilliant. But this one is fine, there's nothing wrong with it. Stick to this one, and it's very directional. When you turned it, you know, so that we could see it from the side, we could clearly hear that you were totally off mic, and when you turned it back, it was spot on. So stick to that one. It's fine. The only problem in your station now is your sound sync is off by about a sentence, not even a word, a whole sentence. So your lip sync is way off. But picture quality is excellent, and the audio quality is also perfect now, Nigel. Mike, I agree with King of England. Your picture is beautiful. Your microphone, you're too far from the mic, and you've got bad room acoustics there in that particular room. So if you could get closer to the microphone, it will make a huge difference to your audio. But it's perfectly readable, but not the audio you have from your other station. Why stroke A? I don't know. That means aeronautical to me, and I don't think you're flying, although you did fly a lot in Europe. But anyway. Okay, that's it from me. I'm not going to hold it much longer. Okay, I'll excuse me. I'll carry on receiving, but I'm not coming back unless there is a particular question for me. Nobody commented on the French guy with the F4 HSL with his variable FEC. That was very interesting. I found that very interesting. Anyway, okay, so I give it to Ed. Papa Yellow 2, Romeo November for the group from ZS1. Mike running on batteries now.
Thank you, Leon Zulu Sierra 1 Mike Papa Yankee 2 Romeo November coming back. Yeah, you're a little bit more dark now, Leon. Yeah, I believe because of the light, but good image as well. Yes, regarding the variable FEC, actually I saw that a few weeks ago, but being tested by F5OEO. So I believe those French guys, maybe they are testing something. I don't know. Probably it's gonna be a new feature that F5OEO is working for a new version of the Pluto firmware. Yeah, it would be very interesting to get this variable FEC, Leon, no doubt. But I didn't see this particular station that you mentioned, but I did see F5OEO, but that was, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago. I also saw F5OEO make some tests on IPTV here through this wideband transponder. So Gary QSL about the YouTube issue. I was trying to measure the delay from tweets and YouTube. Yeah, really, Twix has almost half of the delay of YouTube. I was testing while Leon was transmitting. He's not Italian, but he talks a lot with the hands. So I was taking, trying to make some comparison between Twix and YouTube. Twix has roughly 6 seconds a delay, and YouTube has almost 10. And so Twix is the response is much faster. So maybe yeah, Twix should be to go. Beno mentioned that it's possible to maintain record of the transmissions on Twix. Just need to be enabled. So maybe we can do that via the Twix. For Martin and also Brian, yeah, the keypads are very nice. It's very practical. It's better than working with the mouse. It's something that I need to think about it, and it's gonna be much more practical using the keypad than clicking, several places on the mouse, and it's not very polite because when you're looking at the camera, then you need to deviate your vision to the screens. So it's kind of strange. Mike, Golf Zero Mike Juliet Whiskey, excellent signal, excellent resolution. I don't know if I dare to share the opinion from Gary saying that your image is better from your portable station than your base station. I think they're very similar, but your image is great. I was even able, we are even able to see the brand of. I think you have a 3D printer back in the back with the brand or model in written in blue. We are able to read that. At least I forgot the name, but it's very clear. Okay. What else I would say? Nigel, thanks for the mentioning the T-shirt. It's a dog. It's a Labrador. It's a Labrador. Very, looks like my own Labrador. And thank you for pointing out the 3D effect. Yeah, it has a big 3D effect. I agree. Okay, now back to Brian. Thank you, everybody. Nice to see you all, and hope to see you again next weekend. Have a great week. Golf 6 Hotel Fox Sierra from Papa Yankee to Romeo November.
Yep. Okay. Thanks, Ed. Yeah, I was going to make a comment on the dog. Oh, I'll mute that. I was just looking at what people are on about. I don't normally use the mini tuner software, but I was just seeing what my SR's doing. No, it's sitting there solid. So I don't know what's up with Martin's. Why he's bouncing up and down. That's really weird. Need to look at that. The only other thing is I've just realised is that my brother's done with his engineering is kept the horn I've gone the wrong way again, haven't I? Yeah, thought I had. actually fits back on, and it's quite a tight fit. So if you wanted to put your LNB back together, you just push it on. And of course, I suppose you could also use it as a horn, because it also fits on the end of the bit of pipe. Use it as a waveguide. Well, there we go. He has been an engineer for quite a number of years, and he knows his electronics as well. He does a lot of aerial work, so he didn't point that out. I just found it while looking at it this afternoon. Alright, I'll say good afternoon to everyone. It's getting warm here again. It's gone up a couple of degrees. Over 33 now. So I think I'm going to find a cool drink. Perhaps sit in the shade, get some sun. So I'll hand it round to young Nigel. And yeah, enjoyed the colourful microphone. At least you know it's on. And I won't be around for a little bit, as I'm off out the next few weekends, so I shan't be here on Sundays. So I'll say I'll see you in a few weeks. So 7.3 is all for now. Good afternoon, good morning and evening wherever you are. And round to you, Nigel, from GXHFS 20EHH take. Ooh.
Chewy 0. See if I get the sound. One, two. One, two. Yeah, okay, I can cut that down. And yeah, thanks that Brian. Towards the end, when you pulled your LNB off, your audio, I don't know what you knocked your microphone, I don't know, but it was scratching until you finished. So you must have upset something. I think you hit your mic or something, a loose wire. Hey, what do I know? But something went wrong. But yeah, good to see you. Thanks for the comments about the microphone. Yeah, and the coloured lights, Mike. Yeah, you do. I think do change colour, but obviously if I hit, it switches it off. So obviously when you see it changing colour, I've switched it back on now, so that it's indication. Yeah, you got a little micro switch at the top that changes colour, and also you've got a 1 2 3 1 2 3. You got a mic at the bottom now. I've moved it, so 1 2 1. So mate, touch it, you naff it up. Oh no, I think that's alright. It's Sue's seeing the mic indicator on OBS moving up and down, so that's so good to tell it's working. Yeah, it was temperature inside 30 inside the shack, so it must be 29 or so. Whatever, it's hot, quite hot. Okay, do I need to comment anymore? Yeah, Martin, I was going to comment on about the keypad. Yeah, you'll have to send us the spec if you can by email, Martin, about a button box, because I say I've got an A10 Mini, which I think it might be an overkill, or too well, it was expensive, but I bought it anyway because I wanted it. but professional is too much. If you to work, complicated for me to work. I don't know. The button might be button box might be an option, a version. But anyway, let's just keep it running. As long as it's running, I'm happy. Yes, and towards my last over, yeah, I lost the video. Video went grey for about 5 seconds, then come back again. So I don't know what caused that. Temperature's running 39C at the PA. I've got the main door to the PA open, so the fan's got. Oh, I know it's pulling out all the air from the heat from the amp. Pretty good. Yes, I've got problems now with my lip sync. I'll have to find out which is the best way. Do I change the link on the OBS or the Easy? I don't know which way to do it. I know which way to do it because Mike or Martin told me. I think I've got it written down somewhere. But it's knowing which one to use. Anyway, as long as it's working, pretty hot. Anything else to say? Leon, thanks for your comments. And I think that's... Oh, Mike, yeah, your picture quality brilliant, but it was very low on your audio, you know. I couldn't hardly hear you. I turned my volume up pretty... I mean, it was... I suppose Leon or somebody said punch out. I probably... I can see... Could I... Would I say punchy? Well, I suppose, yeah, lost a bit of power, a bit of humph. But workable, but not your normal standard. But hey, you're doing it from your work QTH or not, you're out and about, so at least, you know, you're getting through. It's more than I can do anyway. Anyway, it's enough waffle to me. Stand by, Mike. I'm going to put a test card up and then hand it over to you. I'll say 73 after we close it. Well, I'll say it now. 73 to all. God bless. And keep safe. And look forward to seeing you next week. This is 2E0EH8 and the Worldwide Net. And then over to Mike M0JW. After a test card, mate, and I'll cut transmission. So I'll put the card up. Wait to see it comes back.
Okay. Right. Sorry, Nigel, you dropped out with me towards the end of the over. The power slowly decreased until it was no longer able to receive it. So I missed the last couple of minutes, but just after you'd demonstrated the utility of the microphone and being able to turn it on and off. So can't comment on anything else, but it's been an interesting net anyway. The better picture quality, it might have got a bit worse now because it's darkened off here, is probably because of there's a window in front of me in that direction, whereas when I'm in the shack down south there isn't a window, so there's an LED light slightly behind and above me, so probably the lighting is better. That would make a difference to the picture quality. What you can't see is the word FlashForge on the 3D printer. It was cheap on Amazon back in beginning of 2020 when I bought it, which was a good timing actually with respect to the pandemic, because it gave me something to do. But that's when I purchased it. It's a FlashForge Dreamweaver, and I've not really used it very much for quite a while. It's just sat up here, but it is a good 3D printer. It's unusual in that the piece only moves up and down. It doesn't go left and right, and the printing head moves left, right, and up down, so to speak, or north, south, east, west, depending on how you describe it. The X and Y axes, anyway. The printer head moves in, and the piece only moves in the Z direction. Right, what else? F5OEO Everest's variable FEC. Yes, we had a discussion about that several months ago now. Really interesting that he's got that working. It's something I remember proposing about 30 years ago, a bit more than 30 years ago. But of course back then we didn't have the capability to do that very easily. But it was to overcome the fading that you get on satellite channels. Be able to change the FEC so you maintain the link, but of course you have to flex your data rate in those circumstances, and that's what Everest's got working. He's got not only the variable FEC but also the variable encoding with FFmpeg, I think, or for data. Anyway, all very interesting. Right. Apart from that, though, thank you everyone who's been on the net, and 7-3 to all those people watching. I understand Gary's had to go away and do something else, but I guess we will see him next week. I won't be on next week, as I said, because we've got the RAL round table. But those of you who are not at the RAL round table, which I suspect will be all of you, will no doubt have a good net again. So 7-3 and have a good week. G0MJW closing the worldwide net on QO100. I'll just put up a test card and do the looking in the wrong